Hey Hana!
Hi!
Are you ready for 73 questions with Vogue?
Yes, I am.
Perfect, let's get started. Let's start things off with a quick check-in. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Other than this interview, what's been the best part of your day so far?
Getting donuts for Zach, who's behind the camera, and you.
That's so nice of you. And who was the first person you spoke to this morning?
I spoke to my best friend, Aditi, who goes to Poolsville High School. We texted.
Nice. So, where are we right now?
We are at Rachel Carson Elementary School, which was the first elementary school that I went to. I ended up transferring later, but yeah.
Going off of that transferring, so you always say that you've gone to schools in 6 different MCPS high school clusters.
Yes.
Which clusters are those?
That would be Quince Orchard High School, Clarksburg High School, Watkins Mill High School, Northwest, Seneca Valley, and Richard Montgomery.
Wow, it seems like you've been all around the county. So what's your favorite thing about MCPS been?
Definitely the diversity of students, the backgrounds, the languages, the places that we all come from is super cool.
And going off of that, what's your least favorite thing about MCPS?
The inequality that sometimes comes with the diversity.
Hana, what are you reading right now?
I am reading A Promised Land by Barack Obama.
Nice, I love that book. What are you watching right now?
I'm not watching anything, but I just finished all seasons of Gilmore Girls, which I love.
And who was the last person you texted?
The last person I texted was my mom.
What were you guys talking about?
She was asking me where I'm going today, and I told her here.
What's been your favorite part of your campaign?
Definitely the people, right? Meeting all the awesome middle schoolers and high schoolers every single day.
Is there a person in particular you've been enjoying speaking to?
Yes, so I think it was like 2 weeks ago, there was this 6th grade student who asked to set up a call with me, which I do all the time. And I thought that he was going to ask me questions about policy and MCPS stuff, but he ended up asking me just to hang out for a bit. So he showed me his art and his music, which was super cool.
That's so nice. How many schools have you visited?
Almost all of them. I think I have 2 middle schools left, and then I'll be done with all MCPS middle and high schools.
That's impressive. What's the worst part of your campaign been so far?
The lack of sleep.
Outside of SMOB and student activism, what are your hobbies?
I do theater, musical theater, and like normal theater. I also am on my school's debate team. We are county champions, and I also do forensics, which is like public speaking.
Ooh, nice. So, musical. What's your favorite musical?
This goes this way. My favorite musical is In the Heights.
And what's your favorite play?
Julius Caesar or As You Like It.
Nice. And what inspires you?
Community.
What's something that people would be surprised to know about you, Hana?
That I've gone to school in MCPS my whole life, but I've also been a public school student in Japan.
Ooh, where in Japan did you go to school?
Tokyo.
And what's the biggest difference between Japan and the United States?
In Japan, there's a huge culture of like deference and respect that we definitely don't have here in the U.S.
And what's your favorite thing about Japan?
The food and the culture.
If you and I were to spend 72 hours in Tokyo together, what would we be doing?
We would take the metro everywhere. We would probably go do some karaoke and eat a lot of food.
What's a misconception Americans have about Japanese people?
That all we eat is sushi and we all watch anime and we're like obsessed with video games.
What's your favorite food then?
My favorite food there is, I don't know, there's this thing called omudaisu, which is like ketchup and rice and egg, which is really good.
And what food do you hate?
Egg salad.
Ooh. What non-campaign related thing are you most excited about?
I don't know. I think like going back to school and having things reopen.
Ooh, that's a good one. And what's the coolest thing you've ever done?
Summer after freshman year, my friends and I went to Skaneateles, New York, upstate New York, and we stayed there for a week and we just like played in the lake every single day.
And what's the scariest thing you've ever done?
This campaign.
Oh. What's the most common mispronunciation of your name?
Hana. It's Hana.
Why is your name Hana and not Hannah?
That's a good question. Hana is a Japanese name. It means flower.
Oh, that's a nice name. How would you describe your upbringing?
Respectful, and balanced.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good combination of the two. And who's the living woman who inspires you the most?
My mom and former Senator Barbara Mikulski.
Ooh, two powerful women. What's the worst pickup line you've ever heard in your life?
Are you Australian? Because you meet all of my qualifications.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
It changes, but I have to say it's probably pink right now.
Oh, nice. And a big hot topic recently. What's your sign?
Oh, I am a Capricorn, I am a Cancer sun, and a Virgo moon.
Ooh. What's the most Capricorn thing about you?
My ambition, which sounds bad, but I think it's a good thing.
If you had a full day off, what would you do with it?
Sleep and watch Gilmore Girls.
How do you unwind?
Sleep and watch Gilmore Girls.
How has online school been for you?
It has definitely been tough. Not as tough for me as it probably is for other people. But yeah.
What are you most excited for when we return in person?
Restaurants, but also seeing my friends and my teachers back in our school.
What's your favorite subject?
History.
That's a good one. A lot of dates to remember. What's your career aspirations?
I'm not sure yet. I think I want to go into like media journalism, like Rachel Maddow, but yeah.
And where do you want to live when you're older?
New York City.
Ooh, that's far. Do you feel a lot of pressure in your social media posts?
Yes, definitely.
Do you read the comments?
Most of them, yeah, I do.
There's a lot of them to go through.
Yes.
How do you deal with all the negativity you've been facing?
That's definitely something I'm still working on, but I try to remember that, everyone is going through something that we may not always see.
And what's the worst comment that you've seen?
The worst comment that I've gotten? I can't say them on here because there's some curse words involved. But one that I got that kind of confused me was that I care and talk about race too much. But yeah.
And how would you describe your personal style?
City light academia. Is that a thing?
Yes, it could be. What's the most overworn thing in your wardrobe?
Just like mom jeans.
Ooh, that's a nice pick. What's your favorite item in your wardrobe?
I don't know. I think just like a cute belt or something.
Nice. And who's the most stylish person alive?
Zendaya?
She very much is. What's the first thing you're going to do once this campaign is over?
Sleep.
That's a good one. Need a lot of it. What do you hope your legacy as SMOB would be?
Someone who shared her seat on the Board of Education with other students.
That's a good one. I love that. Who is your SMOB role model?
I don't have one. I definitely respect all of the past SMOBs immensely, and I hope to take a little bit from each of their terms and incorporate it into mine.
Hana, a big thing that's been going on recently is the RM to SMOB pipeline. Do you believe it's real?
It's 100% real. I'm part of the problem, but 100% real.
And do you think school will be back to normal next year?
I don't know, but I hope so.
What's the biggest problem you've seen in MCPS so far?
The opportunity gap. Definitely the opportunity gap.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Barcelona.
That's the good ones made it fun. What's a hidden talent you have?
I can always find the perfect size Tupperware for any amount of leftovers.
That is a very hidden talent. What do you miss about life before COVID?
Just being able to see people without having to worry about other issues. But yeah, that and restaurant dining.
We all miss restaurant dining for sure. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Dream big.
And what's the worst advice you've ever received?
That you can't do it all because you can always do it all.
Nice. And if you could have dinner with anyone in the world, alive or dead, who would it be?
Beatty Shirota Gordon.
Nice. And what's your favorite movie?
La La Land.
What's your favorite Disney movie?
Ooh, tie between Hercules and Mulan.
And favorite app?
TikTok.
And what's your biggest strength?
Listening to people.
What's a moment you felt most proud?
When the menstrual hygiene product resolution to get free menstrual hygiene products in all MCPS middle and high schools passed unanimously in December.
That is amazing, and I'm so glad you got that passed. So as we're finishing up, our last question, what would be your biggest advice to someone thinking about running for SMOB?
Do it. Do it. It sounds scary. There's a lot of pressure, but it is so worth it. Regardless of if you win or lose. Definitely.
With that, we're done with our 73 questions with Vogue. Thank you, Hana.
Thanks so much for having me.